That's how it is. And yeah. And wow, not a surprise at all. A B2 has 16 nukes on it. Wait, what? How smart gonna be to take one of those down on top of you? Wait, they have a nuclear bomb inside of the B2? Oh my god. And Iran's terrorist camps in Beirut are being eliminated. So this is also happening too. Take a look at this. Holy shit. It's in Beirut. Honestly, this video looks like it's AI. It does. I don't think it is. I'm not sure. That's the biggest one yet? Yeah, these are massive. Oh, I wonder if that's one of those bunker buster bombs. So this is the, let me see if I can find, where's the information about the new bombing? Because I might not be able to find that one right now. Minutes ago near Shiraz. Oh, here's one. Yeah, when did that happen? Fox News? Oh, yeah. I think I actually saw that. I forgot. Let me go and pull this up and show you guys. Where did it go? There it is. Jet strike. So last week we killed the Khamenei, and this week we might have also killed the Khamenei, the new one. So this was just a few hours ago, I guess in the morning, overnight, where we bombed the shit out of them again. Let's take a look at it.
Israel now moving to phase 2 of Operation Epic Fury, shifting the focus to eliminating Iran's missile program.
Yep. So this comes as the Israeli military begins another broad wave of attacks as they fight a two-front war against Iran and Hezbollah.
I kind of feel they're welcoming the opportunity to fight Hezbollah. Chief foreign correspondent Trey Yingst joins us live from Tel Aviv with the latest on a new attack on Ayatollah Khomeini's underground bunker in Tehran. Trey.
So there's another one. What were they thinking, man? Oh, my God.
Yeah, Brian, good morning. We're learning that the Israelis last night launched a new wave of strikes against the Iranian capital of Tehran, using around 50 fighter jets and 100 munitions to strike a bunker that Iran's former supreme leader had planned to use. You can see in some of this video some extensive...
So have they come out and said that the president and the Iranian, the new Ayatollah are alive? Because, like, I feel like right now we don't know.
Explosions taking place there in the Iranian capital. We understand that he was above ground, actually, when he was killed over the weekend. Now, today, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is holding different security assessments with top officials here as this war continues, approaching 1 week. The Israelis are still taking a variety of incoming fire with cluster munition and ballistic missiles soaring through the skies of this country overnight. As that meeting was taking place, there were more sirens sounding, and last night you can see some of these missiles that were flying through the air of Tel Aviv. Many of them overshot their targets and landed in the Mediterranean Sea. The Israelis going after some of these launching positions.
They're just blowing up all of them.
Striking six different ballistic missile launchers. And today, Israel's chief of staff...
See, that's the main reason why they're not shooting off the missiles. Like, not only are they running out of missiles, not only are we blowing up the missiles, but you need something to shoot the missiles with, and they don't have that anymore because it's getting blown up. They haven't said who the new supreme leader is. They're trying to hide it. I mean, that seems like it's pretty smart. Like, I mean, really, see, and this is what I said, right? Is that everybody said, oh, well, these are zealots. They want to be martyred. The first guy did. The second guy was okay with it. The third guy... jeez, guys. Ooh, let's keep this one to ourselves.
Stanimir is making new statements about the war.
Jeez.
Not
so much,
I am in continuous contact with my American counterparts, including the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff of the United States, General Dan Kane, and the commander of CENTCOM, Admiral Brad Cooper. We are fighting based on shared interests and values. In this war, shoulder to shoulder, they are true friends. Through coordinated action, we are stripping the regime of its military capabilities and bringing it to strategic isolation and a point of weakness in which it has never been before.
The Israelis are looking east, but they're also looking north as the Iran-backed militant group Hezbollah launches new attacks over the border. They've been striking the southern Dakhla
they're basically fighting against Iran from two different places. Because think about Iran, like, in their terrorism shit as like a virus. And they've, like, infected a lot of other countries. They've infected Palestine with, like, Hamas. They've infected Yemen with the Houthis. They've infected Lebanon with the fucking Hezbollah. And there's a few other ones, too. I think there's one that starts with, it's like PMT or something like that. It's another fucking terrorist group, too.
In Beirut quite heavily with new strikes.
Do you think other countries will be actively involved?
This was the 26th round of strikes that they have launched against this Iranian proxy in Lebanon. There are many civilians that have evacuated the southern Dakhla neighborhood, and one of them is speaking out about what they heard.
What's this?
They threatened the Daya area, so we packed our things and left.
Yeah, I'd fucking leave too.
Left Daya.
Yeah.
Now we're living a tragic life here, displaced.
Yep.
It's a miserable life. You know what it's like.
They got to get their government after those terrorists.
These strikes to continue against Hezbollah as the group is threatening to launch strikes deeper into Israel. Yesterday, there were multiple times where the Iranians and Hezbollah launched joint attacks against this country. Brian?
So,
do you think the U.S. is the world bully? No, I think Iran is. I think Iran is the problem, and the U.S. is solving it.
Trey, is there a sense? I mean, the Israelis have to take care of Hezbollah, and when they started this fight, that was the opportunity. But is there a sense that the Iran war effort is paying a price for the Hezbollah focus? Are they taking Israel taking assets away from the Iran fight to do this in Lebanon?
There's such a high level of coordination. There were plans in place for this very scenario. And so the Israelis so far don't appear overwhelmed with their Air Force capability. They can fight on multiple fronts at the same time, as we've seen in the past.
It's got a ton of fucking ships.
But we do know there is significant coordination even on the ground. A source earlier this week told me that in Northern Command in Israel, there's actually an American office. And so there are U.S. representatives on the ground, again, to help the Israelis with this targeting campaign
I think that makes
against Hezbollah.
sense.
Hey, Trey, will you tell us more about that bunker? Was anyone killed? The bunker where the Ayatollah was planning on?
Yeah, so that's what I'm curious about, too. Like, did they actually get him or not? I mean, I feel like if they announce a second Ayatollah is dead, I do really think that'll demoralize the shit out of him. I do. Like, at this point, because, like, at that, like, you know, you get the first guy, and they're like, okay, well, we kind of expected that. But then you get the second guy, it's like, okay, well, how many of these guys do we have left? Iranian here, they killed Khamenei. Then they had another random. They killed him after 2 hours. They said Khamenei's son is a leader, and they killed him probably too. Wait, today? Maybe. I don't know. Do you think we'll see more attacks in Western nations because of the war? Probably, maybe in the short term, but not in the long term. I think that a lot of people downplay the worldwide effect that Iran terror network had. And so, like, you could probably see a short-term increase, but I think that if you measured it over the next, like, 15 years, you would have a sharp decrease. Does that make sense?
So Fox News is getting some new exclusive information about the strikes overnight and about this specific bunker. A senior Israeli official telling Fox News that at the time of the strike, when Operation Epic Fury began, when the Ayatollah Khamenei was actually killed, he was above ground. He did not go into this bunker.
My understanding is he went into, like, the first, like, there was, like, just a video I saw on YouTube, but, like, they said he was in, like, one level, but he wasn't in, like, the super underground level.
And that is why the Israelis were able to kill him, in part because he didn't think that he was going to be targeted. And there was a deception campaign, I am told by a senior Israeli official, to make the Iranians think that this attack wasn't...
Wait, what? What? No.
Even going to begin, despite the fact that there were planes in the air.
I think he's gonna do it.
The inner circle of the Ayatollah didn't think to get him underground. And part of this deception campaign was coordinated.
What a bunch of morons, really. I mean, y'all didn't really have this planned out at all? Damn, that's kind of sad.
Directly at the highest levels between the Americans and the Israelis.
The Jew bluff?
One official says that the top commanders here in Israel that normally would be at the Kiryat, Israel's version of the Pentagon, went home for Shabbat dinner with their families. And there were a number of posts that were made and statements by President Trump in the 24 hours leading up to the beginning of this operation. All of this meant to deceive Iranian.
So they said, all right, guys, we're going to dinner. Okay, all right, get the command center, all right. And okay, there he is. And what are they reading? Social media. And they said, no, guys, we're safe. Well, how do you know? The guy said on Twitter that he's having dinner. Yeah, no, we should be good to have this meeting. There's no way they're going to pull us up right now. How is it that you trick? Like this is like, these people are like, this is like a military leader. Really? How do you have this happen? Listen to this again.
Normally would be at the Kiryat, Israel's version of the Pentagon, went home for Shabbat dinner with their family.
All right, we're going for Shabbat.
And
Great.
There were a number of posts that were made and statements by President Trump in the 24 hours leading up to the beginning of this operation.
Trump's like, no, we're not going to do anything. Oh, okay.
All of this meant to deceive Iranian leadership.
Jesus.
And this official says the result was exactly what planners had hoped for. Khamenei stayed above ground, and the opening strike of Operation Epic Fury found him right there.
Oh, my God.
So, Trey, can I go back to where Brian was when we were talking about Lebanon? Are they welcoming Israel in? Because we already heard them tell.
It's probably really mixed. That's what I would assume. I bet they don't like Hezbollah, but they might not like Israel bombing them more. Maybe, I don't know. The
proxy is to stand down. Don't get involved in this. So now are they welcoming Israel in to destroy this terror organization?
So I want to give you a little bit of background on Lebanon first. I've reported on the ground in Beirut a number of times in the past, and it's a city that's divided, but it's also a country that is divided. There's the Christian population in Beirut, and they are centered around the northern part of Beirut.
I didn't even know that.
In the southern Dakhla neighborhood, this is where you have the Shia Muslims, the supporters of Hezbollah, and then further south, closer to the Litani River as well. And so we've heard actually this week from Lebanon's prime minister, who is calling on Hezbollah to stand down. Yesterday,
yeah, because he doesn't want to get bombed by Israel either. That's the reason why. They don't want to have this shit happen. And, like, if they're not even getting money from Iran anymore, why the fuck do you even have these guys here? Like, there's literally zero benefit, and all they do is cause trouble.
The Lebanese government announced
you think
that they
about
would
it, right?
arrest anyone with ties to Iran's IRGC. And this is a massive shift in posture than we had seen. Had we reported this to you a year ago, people wouldn't have taken it seriously. The Lebanese government was allowing Hezbollah to infiltrate into their ranks. But President Trump sent Tom Barak and Morgan Ortagus and others to the region and basically told the Lebanese government, if you support Hezbollah, the entirety of Lebanon is going to pay the price. And they listened, and they're...
Yeah, that's what happens. See, the thing is that Trump, one of the good things about him is that it seems like he knows how to negotiate with terrorists, is that you don't. You just tell them, if you don't do this, we're going to just kill everybody, and that's just the way it's going to be. And that's what they did with Venezuela, and that worked really well. They went in there and they got the main guy, didn't lose a single person. And then he called the second person, this chick, right? And he says, listen, do you want to be next? No? Okay, then play ball. Fuck around, you're dead. That's it. Yeah, you don't negotiate. Exactly. It's so easy. Like, and I don't know why I don't know why we haven't been doing this for like the last 40 fucking years. This is what we should have been doing the entire time. But for some reason, we had like, I don't know, like they wanted to just keep the war going, I guess, to just make more money. Fuck that. What a waste.
Continuing to listen to President Trump.
Like White House Twitter?
And so you have a situation on the ground where the Israelis are going after these Hezbollah strongholds, but they're not striking other parts of Beirut.
Oh, what's the difference?
They are focusing on southern Beirut in the Dakhla neighborhood. They are moving ground forces into defensive positions in areas in the south of Lebanon. And they're also...
Yeah, no, I'll show you all the Taliban clip after this. It's one of my favorite clips.
Also striking the Bekaa Valley, where Hezbollah stores many of their missiles and rockets. And so at this point, the Lebanese government is welcoming the ability to rid Hezbollah of their influence in the country.
Exactly. Like, it's better for them. Like, why would the Lebanese government want a pseudo-government paramilitary force in their country that they have to deal with and share power with and negotiate with and, you know, calculate their influence in certain events and decisions? Like, it's obviously against their best interest to have a terrorist group in their country. Duh, of course.
I understand there's coordination behind the scenes to ensure that these statements remain strong, that Hezbollah knows they have no place in Lebanon, and that ultimately the Lebanese people are going to pay a price if they continue to attack.
Huge.
Yeah. Very interesting. Thanks, Trey.
So interesting that some of these cities, these are cities where, I mean, a lot of people here in New York that are from Lebanon, they say how wonderful Beirut is and what a wonderful city.
Think about how much better it's going to be when it's not full of terrorists.
You know, different areas, used to be.
A lot
now
better.
It's not safe to go.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I mean, like, here's the video. I'll link you guys. But you see the White House post on X, the video? No, I haven't. I'll show you guys. I guess I'll look at it right now. But actually, before I do that, this was the original clip, bro. Like, I love this. Was it Trump, Taliban? Yeah, I guess probably I can search it from this, right? I think it would come up. No, this looks like that's not it. Damn. Okay. Let me see. I pulled this up. Maybe that's going to work. Oh, my God. I can't find it. Yeah, just give me a minute. I can maybe find it on here. I always search things on Twitter. And no, that's not it. Fuck. I can't find this video. This video was really fucking funny. But yeah, here it is. Where's the audio?
Trump story. This is my #1 favorite of all time. When we were negotiating with the Taliban, while President Trump was still the president, President Trump wanted to get out of Afghanistan, but he wanted a conditions-based withdrawal, meaning that you do what we tell you to do, and then we will start pulling troops back slowly as long as you abide by our rules. It's President Trump and Mike Pompeo, and they are talking to Taliban leadership in the room, and they had one translator in the room. President Trump looked at the Taliban leader and said this: I want to leave Afghanistan, but it's going to be a conditions-based withdrawal. And translator translated. And he said, if you harm a hair on a single American, I'm going to kill you. And the translator goes, and Trump goes, tell him that.
Yes.
Tell him what I said. Tell him what I said. Reached in his pocket, pulled out a satellite photo of the leader of the Taliban's home and handed it to him.
Shut up.
Got up and walked out the room.
There it is. And so anyway, that's it. This is one of the base clips of all time. Yeah, exactly. So this is probably what he did at Lebanon too. That's probably what happened. And again, that shit works. It does. Like, that shit works really well. Gangster mentality? Well, that's how it should be. Like, that's what you should do. Like, fuck. Imagine not doing that. Imagine letting these people run over you. Imagine letting these people roll over you. This is some fucking third world country rolling over you. Like, what the hell is this? This is the only thing people understand. Exactly. And guess what? The thing is that people listen to that. That's the main reason that matters. The only language these people understand is violence. Exactly. You got to do that. And it might not be a good thing, but it might not feel good, but it's the right thing to do. Where's this here? The White House? Oh, no. Wait a minute. Oh, my God. What is this? Breaking news. America has suffered significant losses so far. Iranian storm missiles have launched ongoing attacks with direct ballistic missiles on aircraft carrier Naval Fleet Abraham Lincoln. This is the same video we've seen before. Oh my God. Yeah, guys. No way. What is the what's the new video? If I can find it. Is this another one? Man, how about that? Back. Man, I don't know if they're going to be able to top the COD montage. I really don't. This is great. I love it. And Japanese will like this one. I don't know about that. And yeah, what is this? It's baseball season? I guess so. TDS has Americans pro-terrorist. Yeah, you've got the Americans that are siding with the terrorists now. I know, I've seen that a lot. Check the Ben Stiller video. Where is it? I can find it. What is this? We never gave you permission being part of your propaganda machine. War is not a movie. Yeah, we're going to play it anyway. Yeah.
Wake up, Daddy's home.
Welcome home, son.
Strength and honor.
Strength and honor.
What will you do without freedom?
Mavericks inbound.
By the way, don't ever listen to these people. Don't ever think that they're trying to advocate or they care about not doing war or something like that. These are people who are totally identity and ideologically captured by Hollywood. And if it was the Biden administration that was co-opting their stuff to advocate for COVID viruses or COVID vaccines, they would be all for it. So you shouldn't care about what they say, how they feel, or anything else. It's completely circumstantial on the politics and not actually on the principle. Who gives a fuck? Who cares?
You can't conceive of what I'm capable of.
Yeah, remember how Ben Stiller went to go meet Zelensky? Ben Stiller went to go meet Zelensky personally and even posted about it. But for some reason, he's not okay with this. And he accepts transitional leadership of Iran. Yeah, I mean, obviously, this was the guy that was going to be taking over. I mean, I think everybody... everybody kind of knew this, right? I mean, I thought so. Let me go and pull up this video. Where is it here? Copy video URL. And I can find it this way. IRGC is in the Special Olympics? I guess so, right? And what is this?
News out of the Middle East. Reza Pahlavi, the Crown Prince of Iran, just made an extraordinarily important announcement about the future of Iran. Take a look.
The Iranian people have called on me to lead the transition after the regime is gone.
Great.
I have accepted that responsibility. Part of their great mandate to me is to return our nation and our foreign relations.
Is this good or bad? It's good. This guy's a reasonable guy, and I think that it would be better than the Ayatollah. I'll tell you that for sure.
We'll see.
That's a fact.
I will do exactly that. My commitment is to ensure the transition is orderly, the country is stabilized.
And also, so this was always the strategy, is that he was going to come in and he wasn't necessarily going to lead the country. Now, if they voted for him to lead, maybe he would. But it was basically to facilitate a transition of power to where there's not a power vacuum, because that's whenever all the insurgencies and all of the crazy people take over.
Iranians determine their future through the ballot box. We will not repeat the mistakes of past transitions. We will avoid de-Baathification scenarios and maintain...
That's what happened after they had Saddam Hussein deposed, is that the Ba'ath Party was like his party, and they went crazy after that and caused a bunch of problems. I think that's what, people are saying created ISIS.
As many bureaucrats and public servants in transition as possible. Iranians have made their choice at an enormous price. Now I ask our friends in the Arab world to join us, to prepare to recognize and engage our transitional government. We will rebuild our nation not for expansion, but to serve the Iranian people. We will base our diplomatic relations not on exportation of ideology, but on mutual respect and shared interest.
Finally.
We will reintegrate into the regional and global economy to increase prosperity for the citizens of all of our nations.
See, I think that's another really big component, is that once they're able to actually do trade with everybody and they're able to be like a normal country, it's going to make that country a lot richer than it already is. Because obviously, the people in Iran are very, very well educated, so they could create a lot of things that probably would have a lot of value.
Standing with the Iranian people is not charity. It is a strategic investment in making our region one of the most stable, secure, and prosperous in the world. Together, we can build a Middle East our children will be proud to inherit.
And they won't get bombed.
Take this new path with us.
Yeah. Nicole John Sezyon, a journalist in Jerusalem, joins us now. So, Nicole, my friend, before we even get to what happens next, how much longer is the Iranian regime going to be able to keep putting up a fight? And, people are saying, well, you took out the Ayatollah. When's this regime crumbling? What are you hearing?
Well, it's so interesting to be talking about this on right on the heels of this breaking news, because I feel that in the last couple of days, we've gone from wondering what the capabilities are of the regime to hearing the results of the Israeli...
Well, it was pretty obvious what the capabilities were right from the beginning, okay? Like, if they had any capabilities to stop this, they would have done it last year whenever they had all their nuke sites destroyed. Like, they were getting bombed like fucking crazy by Israel. Like, I mean, if they had anything, they would have used it then. The idea that they were holding on to some super secret weapon, like, that was always a third world cope. It always was.
The combined U.S. and Israeli military campaign to now, even as recently, just today, I was in a briefing with somebody, an expat Iranian who works for advocacy and democracy in Iran, who said that her sources are talking about the coming collapse of the regime.
Well, yeah,
that
obviously.
There are defections and people
See, that's the thing, bro. Like, as soon as this is the other reason why they shut down the internet, is because if the soldiers can start communicating with each other and they can realize that their leaders are leaving, that's going to make them leave too. So as soon as that starts getting like spread around, then you're probably going to have like a huge demoralization, like massive.
Leaving the
That's what I'm
besieged,
guessing,
leaving
at least.
the IRGC. They're putting down their weapons. They're throwing their phones so that their commanders will assume that they've been killed, and then they are trying to disappear and basically defect.
That's smart. That's what I would do.
And so
Yeah,
what
I do that
she
for
was
sure.
calling for
Holy shit.
was for the international community to start to encourage this, even overseas, even, you know, in other countries, from diplomats and workers in embassies to encourage more defections, because she said all of this is going to culminate. It becomes a critical mass that could change everything overnight.
Well, obviously,
somebody says you don't understand how secret the weapons are. They're so secret that the Iranian regime doesn't even know what they are. I guess that's it.
Nature abhors a vacuum. And let's say this regime were to collapse. I think the vast majority of Western allies, the vast majority of Persians, it seems like in the diaspora, would be 100% behind the crown prince. But I know that there's other factions, you know, trying to vie for power, I guess you could say, in this moment. Who are some of the other players in this transition government? Again, nothing's happened officially yet. The regime's still in power. But what are some other people we should be keeping our eye on, at least?
Right. And also, by the way, I don't know. It appears to be that Reza Pahlavi is the popular choice of the people. It appears to be, but I don't claim to know that as well. Although everybody I've interviewed, and
they can figure it out whenever that regime is gone, right? I mean, I think that's really it. It's just about getting rid of those guys first.
Several Iranians and analysts of Iran are saying that he would be the natural choice.
Yeah, now, I think that's what makes sense.
Other groups, for instance, there is the MEK, which is the Mujahideen al-Haq, and I think it's like Mujahideen of the People, and they are an a Marxist Islamic group.
Oh, good.
That some people have said is more like a cult because of the demands that they have of their people. Like they demand that the women wear hijab.
I don't think that's going to fly after all this. I've got a feeling that they're probably tired of that shit.
Though they say that they're against the current regime, but they still have their own sort of Islamist, like a secular Islamist system.
They're not as crazy as the previous crazy people.
In any case, Mariam Rajavi is the head right now of that party. She has also declared herself the head of a transitional government. She did that a couple days ago before Reza Pahlavi. So it's just very interesting. There's also, I've asked many questions. You know, I have to say, Iran is a historic and extremely large and massive nation, 90 plus million people, and I think 17 minority groups, something like that. So I can't say that I have
there's probably not a direct consensus for anything. I think that's what makes sense.
So I'm asking the experts.
Seems very
and I have
unlikely.
asked several people what will
90
happen
million
with all
people
these
in the
minority
country.
groups. For instance, we're hearing about the Kurds being armed to go and to do a ground invasion and to lead an uprising on the ground, which, you know, people are saying that though the Israeli-American bombing campaign has been extremely effective in taking out missiles and missile launchers and intelligence sites and a lot of the infrastructure, an airstrike alone or a series of airstrikes cannot change the regime. So they are depending ultimately on something to happen on the ground. So
well, I think it probably almost, I mean, it almost did with just the people protesting. I mean, it did. Like, they basically had to turn off the internet and then activate the military at probably a very high level to start killing their people. Like, so I think this has already happened.
The Kurds.
That's my opinion.
My questions have been, okay, so what if the Kurds then break away and create their own republic? Or what if they become the oppressive regime? Or what about the Azeris? You know, the Azeris, I think, make up a large percentage of the population. I think it's more than 10, less than 20. It's something like that. But what if they do that as well? And many Iranians insist, and again, this is their words, not mine, that Iran is a society that is built on this diversity and that they would stay unified and that none of these groups would rise up, that everybody wants the same end result, which is
it's kind of, I feel like that's very high-minded. I don't know if that's what would happen.
Democratic government.
Yeah, it's you know, just a fascinating time to be alive. The idea that the Islamic regime in Tehran, you know, might be soon to be collapsing, and then you think about Hezbollah and Hamas and the Houthis and the militias in Iraq and just all the chaos that has transpired, and the fact that there is a potential, you know, to have Iran become, you know, a source of peace and a Western ally is just, you know, almost unthinkable a few years ago. So the fact that we're here is pretty amazing. But on the other side of that token is what's happening where you are, which is in Israel. In
that's other Israel shit. Gives a fuck about Israel shit. Right? But like Azerbaijan's going to annex something? I don't know about that. But, like, yeah, overall, I feel like that's kind of what's going to happen is that guy, that Reza Pahlavi, I'll link you guys this video here from CBN News. I'm not familiar with them at all, but I'll link it to you guys. And only Indian federal system to work for them. Yeah, I mean, that's generally, like, I think the guy that they're probably going to bring in and have represent them. And the reason why, it just makes sense, right? I mean, this is the guy, he's the son of the Shah, etc. I feel like very obviously that's where things are going to go. I mean, it could be something else, but, like, that's generally what I think is going to happen.
President Trump has released a new statement. Of course, through back channels, the Islamic Republic was saying, maybe we could have a conversation. Of course, the president said no, but there's one thing. He said, there will be no deal with Iran except unconditional surrender. After that, and the selection of a great and acceptable leader or leaders,
we saw this before, and this is good. I mean, if they're going to bomb them, I think that's a good thing. I'm glad. I mean, this is finally going to happen. We'll see. So this is is this the bombing alerts here? Let me go back. I'll pull it up. The USA is losing. I saw that. I watched an AI video that showed the US getting blown up. And I guess, you know, based off of that, I feel like it's kind of obvious that the United States is losing the war. And we're just really stupid, and we totally underestimated how smart Iran is and how good their weapons are.
So that's a Tel Aviv cam. But I don't see anything on Intel cams right now.
Let me see if there's any more of these.
But they just zoomed it in.
Here we go. All right. Let's see if they get any of them. That was good timing, huh? It was really good timing. A minute till impact? Yeah. Hit him with the goy beam? Yeah. What wave are they on? This is like the 8th day, right? 7th or 8th day, or 8th day, one or the other. Turn it down a little bit. Real missiles are incoming? Yeah, these are their serious missiles, okay? So you should expect really big damage here. Yeah, they're not joking around anymore. No more lawnmowers. See what happened in Lebanon? Yeah, they bombed them. That's what's been happening for a while. People watch stream if they're banned. Why? Deciding if it's worth the risk. U.S. has taken out so many. I don't think they have the capacity to get past defenses anymore. I don't think so either. Oh, there's one right there. Look. And it's gone. And there's that one. Oh, there's one right here, too. This is in Beirut. Wait, it's in Beirut. Wait, what? Wait, they're just everywhere. Holy, wait, look at, oh, shit, look at all those. Oh, my God. Look at that. They're getting goy beamed. And those are going up, too. Oh, there's one going down. Is this one going to hit? I'm not seeing it. Oh, I think they had a hit. You see him getting flashed out. Oh. Oh. What the fuck? You see one right there. It's one's getting popped off right there. Damn. Must be still the old ones. Yeah, they're saving the new ones for the next wave. That's it. They're about to use them. They're just not ready yet. They're fixing to really show America that they mess with the wrong guys. Clearly the DPS phase. I think this is really the... Yeah, I think they're on cooldown now. I mean, do you think that, like... I mean, do you think they, like, watch this and then they, like, watch live streams and then there's, like, they're like, oh, they're laughing at us. Like, fuck, man. Like, okay, we'll get them next time. Okay, fire off 3 more. They almost won phase? Like, yeah, did they not get a... Oh, what was this? Really? I mean, like, because, like, oh, there's... Damn, there's a lot of these, huh? This is more than usual. They don't have launchers capable of programming big missiles, so they have to just sit on them? Oh, so now they have all the really good missiles, but they can't use them. Of course. They're using a 1-button rotation? No, I think they're just spamming 1 button. It's cluster missiles, that's why? Well, I think that we would have seen them, like, I mean, with the lighting here, like, the cluster missiles usually separate into things that are, like, easily able to see. Says it's Iran. Oh, this one? Yeah, that's Iran, but the other ones aren't. These are all Israel. It says Israel right here. Getting all of today's 7 rockets done in one go and then going back to bed. All right, it's 2 a.m. Okay, all right, fire them off. Let's go. Let's meet the quota for today. IDF has done 15 bombing runs so far. I mean, it's pretty obvious how asymmetrical this is, right? I mean, they're just getting totally destroyed. I don't see how these people think that they even have a chance. Let's see what it says. So, are they showing any bombings that have hit? And what are they saying here? The cameras are being censored. They got slammed. Haifa hit as well. Time for ambulance. Big hits. Garbage man will be out today. Propaganda crap from Israel. No hits. 7 hits I see, guys. Cam 4 gets censored, apparently. No impacts, LOL. Confirmed hits. Can censored for non-paying members. Oh, God. It's not even true. Okay, I'm trying to see if there's any more of these.
Give me a moment.
Which percentile are they parsing at? Like the 3%, man. I don't even know if 3% of their missiles hit. I really don't. I think it could even be lower than that. Like, I think it actually could be that bad. Like, there's not a single one that's really coming through. Let me go and see and pull it up and see if they're going to do another one. U.S. investigators believe hackers linked to Chinese government carried out a cyber intrusion targeting an internal FBI computer network containing information regarding to some domestic surveillance orders. Okay, a lot of explosions were heard in Israel. Explosions heard in Tel Aviv. Well, I wonder why. And so 133 alerts. So it's at 201 alerts now. So did a single one get through or not? It seems like maybe not. I'm from Haifa, and I can confirm we got hit hard. They closed Domino's. But do they usually close Domino's? Because like I figure like if it's late at night, usually Domino's is closed anyway, right? Like you're not saying that they hit Domino's. You're just saying the store's closed, right? Because if they hit Domino's, I think that I mean, I feel like at that point we're into war crime territory, right?
Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you're having a lovely day. Welcome to today's episode of How You Getting Fucked. I'm your host, Louis Rossman. Today I want to go over a program called NanoClaw. It's a really cool open source program developed by a great person. Now, when I tell you that it's a cool program developed by a great person, the first thing you may want to do is Google NanoClaw and take a look at it. Now, the first thing you'll see is a GitHub, and you may think to yourself, man, I don't feel like compiling this from source. I trust the guy if Louis says it's good. Let me just go to the website and download it. You may go to the second result, which is nanoclaw.net, and you're going to follow what it says there and want to download the program. Simplicity meets security, get started, all this. The one problem with this project and this website is that that's not actually his site. That's a scam site that just literally stole his work. This is not his site. So when you go over to nanoclaw.dev, that's where you'll find his actual project. Now, the problem here is that if you want to find the website for his actual project, best of luck with that one. When you go to Google, after Googling NanoClaw, nanoclaw.dev. Let's see where he is. Is he on page 1? No, he is not. Is he on page 2? No, he is not. Is he on page 3? No, he is not. He is nowhere to be found on all of Google. Now, they have to know what the real project is because they're linking to the GitHub for the project. When you click onto that GitHub for the project, it very clearly says nanoclaw.dev over here, nanoclaw.dev over there. But wait, there's more. It's not just an obscure YouTuber like Louis that's talking about this software. He's been covered by the Newsstack, VentureBeat, The Register. He's been on CNBC. He had a blog post that was #1 on Hacker News, and they're all linking to his website. And in spite of this, you can't find him anywhere. I've had the same problem with Google where I had a website that was a service website that's almost 18 years old now, and I have updated that site regularly. And at one point, I just fell off Google entirely, and nothing I could do. I had other people write content. I wrote content, the entire website redesign, nothing worked. And then I went to Gemini and I said, what should this website say if my goal is to rank #1 on Google in this category? And what happened within a few weeks? I'm #1 on Google, thanks to AI bullshit. When you Google hard drive data recovery, literally the first thing that shows up on Google is this bullshit AI slop result. And who's the top of the AI slop results? Me, because I asked Gemini how to game the system, and after asking Gemini how to game the system, it worked. This is fucking stupid how this works, and you'll see the same thing happening from my other websites. So let's just say something like Consumer Rights Wiki. I have had Jake working on it for a while. Let's say I search for General Motors. Nothing. Let's say I search for Miku. Nothing. I've had this site for about a year now. There's literally nothing. It's erased off of Google. So I wanted to read his tweet storm because his experience, he seems to be going down a similar path to what I was going down. I think more people need to understand just how fundamentally useless Google has become as a search engine. So it's 2026 and Google search is totally broken. He says, I'm losing the SEO battle for my own open source project. I built an open source project called NanoClaw. It has 18,000 GitHub stars. It's been covered by CNBC, VentureBeat, The Register, and others. When you Google NanoClaw, a fake website ranks #2 globally, right below the product's GitHub. My actual website doesn't show up. Not on page 1, not on page 2, and not on page 5. I'm losing the SEO battle for my own project to an imposter site, and there's nothing I can do about it. And it's putting the public at risk. I launched NanoClaw on February 2nd. It took off fast. I was focused on shipping features, merging pull requests, and building community. I didn't have a website. The GitHub repo was the project. That's how open source works. Around February 8th, someone grabbed nanoclaw.net and threw up an auto-generated site scraped from the README. People started mentioning it to me. I didn't think much of it. It was a bit weird, but linked to the correct GitHub, whatever. I had code to write. The project kept growing, more stars, more press, more people messaging me. Hey, there's an error on your website. Your site has ads on it. Why does your website look like that on mobile? It wasn't my website. I didn't have one. But thousands of people were finding the site and assuming it was official. Their first impression of NanoClaw was a shoddy, ad-covered page with inaccurate information about the project, every single day. So I built a real website. That was 2 weeks ago. Since then, I've done everything you're supposed to do and more. I've linked it from the GitHub
programming,
repo, proper
land,
SEO,
and job. I work as a senior,
submitted
but I created a junior profile without experience and tried to apply for the roles. And this is how many results I've got. Meet Alex Sau. He's a computer science graduate from Eindhoven University of Technology in Netherlands. He relocated from Russia to Netherlands to study computer science and now finally finished his bachelor degree and started to apply for jobs. So how did Alex try to apply for jobs? Well, my original plan was to use public brand. There are several reasons for that. First, it is much less time consuming than cold spamming companies. Reasons for that. First, it is much less time consuming than cold spamming companies. Just be active on LinkedIn and recruiters will come to your profile. Themselves. So I created a dummy LinkedIn profile, I filled all the information, and I also of cold spamming companies is only 5%, meaning that if there are 80 companies, if I'm very lucky, I will only have 4 interview processes. The problem is that half of those vacancies actually require some real work experience, and other half also requires to know Dutch language. Some of the positions were really strange. They look like they are intern level, but when I click apply, it asks me how many real work experience I have. And I really feel at this moment, if I select 0, I will be automatically rejected. So Alex was thinking, what does he have to do? Is it really the time to lie to your future employer that you have some work experience just to pass the filters? Well, luckily smart bloggers also had an answer to this. Apply even if you don't meet the requirements. This is really good advice, but that practically means you have to lie to pass the filters. Well, if I have spent 3 years in university, can this be counted as at least 1 year of real work experience? Please? I think no, but let's see what our recruiters will say. And they won't say anything, because guess what happened when I started to apply? My account got banned again. Now this time I cannot even send appeals anymore, so it looks like I got into some VIP blacklist on LinkedIn. Alex has to get his interview no matter what. Alex spends so much time in university and he deserves to apply the knowledge he's got there. He's a passionate newcomer and even LinkedIn corporate machine will not stop him. So Alex googled alternatives and the first one, Indeed.com, was his choice. It was easy to register there, they didn't ban Alex, so for the 3 weeks Alex was applying for the jobs. And the most interesting part. What are the results? So in those 3 weeks Alex sent 36 applications, he got 0 interview invites, he had 6 rejection emails, no one visited his GitHub profile on LinkedIn while it was active, no
Isn't it great that we've allowed racial PvP to happen in the United States now? Like, this is the issue, is that, like, I mean, again, you can't have this shit. It's such a it's so corrosive, it's so toxic, it's so obnoxious.
Still would be majority white Jewish men voting for public school students that they don't care about. Yeah, and they purposely go out their way to isolate us. We're basically isolated to the point where we feel like this isn't our home.
A lot of people like to say they're ducking taxes and all of that. There's truths and lies to that.
I don't know. Nobody knows.
I could only tell you that I've only seen the bad part. The bad part is I've seen houses get broken down. I've seen certain spaces, buildings get destroyed for, let's just say, for more kosher customs. You feel me? So.
Oh my God. This is the other video about it.
This is Lakewood, New Jersey, one of the largest Orthodox Jewish communities. in America. How large are the families out here?
Anywhere from 6 to 12 children.
Damn.
This is probably 99.9% religious. Basically, this community is allowed to police themselves. Yeah, the trash cans. We have a problem now in Jackson with rats, which we
What the fuck are y'all doing? Damn, can't you throw your shit away?
Had before. They don't want to live amongst us. They don't want to live with us. They just want to live and not have us be part of their lives.
I don't think it was nice how you portrayed the Jewish people. Are we talking about Curious Joel? Yes. When you came to Curious Joel, what was the agenda? There was no agenda. I know what I'd even find. But there was still an agenda in mind. There's a reason why you came down to Curious.
Well, I think that what his agenda is, this is maybe not something that he would say. His agenda is showing that there are insular communities inside of America that do not have any form of an American identity, and they only operate in their best interest. And I think that making videos exposing these people, I think, draws criticism to it and makes people aware of the problematic nature of these groups. That's the reason why, you know, they say, oh, it's a melting pot. They're not melting, okay? They're not. And so his Patreon got nuked over this. Tyler Oliveira had his entire Patreon deleted over this video. My Patreon got nuked. So if you look right here, Patreon, what is this here? This page has been removed. Let's look it up. Okay, so if I click on this, there it is. It's actually gone. You could say they shut it down. So there it is. And I don't know what else to say. And yeah, I made my own website. We can't upload on YouTube. Early access to all the videos we upload on YouTube. Extended cuts and interviews. Yep, that's good. I'm glad that he obviously did that. It's obviously a good decision. Like, why would Patreon even delete this? I don't even understand. What about this is even wrong? Because, like, and here's the other really big issue, is that what it shows is that there's a double standard. Tyler's video about, you know, like, let's say other fraud, like Minnesota fraud, or, you know, like scammers in France or something like that. All of these things, there is a racial component to these things, because in a lot of these videos, the sub-community that he's talking about is an immigrant, migrant, refugee, or a foreign community in a, you know, a Western country. This is just generally what happens in most of his videos. And so how is it that whenever you're doing this on a very regular basis, that doesn't get called out at the beginning? How is it that now you made this one video that's talking about actual fraud, and then a deliberate, I think, cynical reallocation of resources to Jewish schools over public schools? This one gets you demonetized. There are multiple videos that Tyler has done where the subject group that is being criticized very harshly is a minority group, whether it's, again, Africans, Somalians, or, you know, Muslims or something like that. But now that he does a video about Jews, his Patreon gets deleted.
Less than 24 hours. That's how long it took for Patreon to delete my account after I uploaded a video titled, "I Exposed New Jersey's Jewish Invasion." No warning, no first strike, no option to take down any videos. The entire account deleted overnight. Over the last few years, I've made videos critical of countless groups: Somalis in Minneapolis, Haitians in Springfield, Ohio, corrupt,
actually,
Christian megachurches, Pakistani Muslim rape gangs in England, Indians throwing cow poop at each other, drug addicts, pimps, prostitutes, gangsters, everyone.
Yes.
And not a single platform blinked.
Exactly. And that's the thing. And he had even done another one previously about Jewish people in New York. And so this is what's so problematic, is that he does make, I mean, like, let's just talk the way it is, right? Tyler Oliveira does make content that effectively highlights these insular racial groups that do not assimilate into America and cause cultural problems inside of America. And I think that he tries to do so in a way that, you know, in a lot of cases paints them in a bad light. Now, I think that bad light is deserved, but I think that it's accurate. But why is it that when Tyler Oliveira did this with 50 other groups of people, that nothing happened, but he does one about Jews and his entire account gets banned with no warning whatsoever? It's obviously a huge fucking piece of shit. Like, it's total bullshit.
The moment I made a video about Hasidic Jews using welfare to support families of up to 8 to 10 kids, my sponsors pulled out. In fact,
thanks for letting me know. Unfortunately, we can't have our ad in that video. It's a no-go for the brand. Can you confirm blank won't be in this video?
In fact, old sponsors called me and said, hey, you
blank won't be in this video. That video, it's a no-go for the brand. Can you confirm blank won't be in this video?
In fact, old sponsors called me and said, hey, you need to delete the sponsorship we had in your video that's 2 years old. And the ADL even has the audacity to publish an article saying that my video harkens back to age-old anti-Semitic stereotypes.
What, that they can't drive? I thought that was an Asian stereotype. What are you talking about? And holy fuck, they had no idea how to drive. Every single bus had like 50 scrapes on the side of it. What are we talking? It's not even true. There wasn't even women driving. What stereotype are we talking about?
Stereotypes for asking Hasidic Jews what they do for a living and if they're on welfare. How do they afford 8 to 10 kids? Here's what I've learned. When they can't call you a liar, they attack your name. When attacking your name doesn't work, they pressure your sponsors. And you don't need the sponsors because you have the direct financial support from your viewers using websites like Patreon.
Then they try to attack your money.
They delete your Patreon.
That's right.
They don't want me to have a platform? Fine. I built my own. TylerRaw.com. No middlemen, no censorship.
Dude, I feel like that name, bro, people are going to think that's porn.
Just the truth. My job is to ask uncomfortable questions and to start uncomfortable but important conversations. And it seems like I'm one of the few people on YouTube using my platform to do just that. If you want to support our mission to fight for the truth, no matter how many people it pisses off, then go to TylerRaw.com and get access to videos we can't upload on YouTube, exclusive bonus content, and early access to all of our videos. 2026, we're going to go harder than ever. They can pull the sponsors. They can delete accounts. The show doesn't stop till I'm 6 feet under.
That's right. Big dick. Never stop.
Full disclaimer, I am not suicidal.
Okay, I'll link you guys this video. I didn't see this. No, he got totally scammed. Patreon should come out and say something about this. Please elaborate on your point of view. Sure, I can elaborate. I think that it's outrageous that Tyler had his account banned on Patreon. I think he did absolutely nothing wrong. I think that all of his videos are completely, like, in a certain degree, factual. I think that he's not promoting any sort of bad content. He's not promoting violence. He's not violating the First Amendment. And he's not, I don't even really think, promoting hate. I think that leveraging criticism against a group of people for doing something that seems to be bad faith behavior, that's not racism. That's not hate speech. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes people do things that are bad, and when they do, they should be called out for that. Whenever certain people think that they can hide behind their identity, their ethnicity, their nationality, or their religion in order to escape from accountability, I think that what they're doing is they're manipulating and taking advantage of the fact that we do have, in a lot of cases, a post-racial society. We do have a society that tries to treat everybody equal, and they manipulate and they take advantage of that goodwill, and they use it for their own selfish best interests so they can continue scamming Americans, scamming taxpayers, and scamming ultimately just good faith people by being a piece of shit. So yeah, that's what I think. I think that these people are completely bad faith. I think Tyler should get his account reinstated. And I think Patreon should apologize to him for deleting it for a reason that's totally invalid. And yeah, say that you're not suicidal too. I'm not really. And actually, no, I'm not. And yeah, let's stop right there.
Hey, I'm Peter. I was the first full-time writer-director that Derek hired for Veritasium. Between September 2020 and January 2025, I wrote and directed so many videos that I am so proud of. And then, I quit. I left Veritasium. I quit my dream job. During my time at Veritasium, I flew in a helicopter while Adam Savage, one of my childhood heroes, flung pennies at my boss. I got completely soaked in the world's largest rainfall simulator in Japan. I stayed awake for 28 hours straight, shoveling charcoal and iron sand, smelting iron, which ended up inside of a katana. This is step 1 of making a Japanese sword. I got to use a real katana. I've had so many incredible experiences from working on Veritasium. Like, this is kind of the best day ever. It was so much work. It was so stressful. It was so much fun. Most importantly, I got to make what I think is some pretty great art with some incredible people who I am so lucky to call my friends. I learned how to be a science communicator from one of the greatest of all time. Thank you, Derek. I got to share some incredible stories with tens of millions of people, with all of you. I couldn't be more grateful. All I've wanted to do with my professional life was to make videos and tell stories about science. And I got to do that. And in January 2025, I made the very hard decision to leave Veritasium. There's no drama or bad blood. If there was, I would most certainly milk it for views, but there's genuinely nothing here. I'm friends with Derek. I was in Portugal for his wedding last year. It was gorgeous. I'm also friends with Emily, who just started her own channel, and it's really, really good. And with Casper and Gregor and Henry and Sully and Peter and Fabio and Jakob and so many other wonderful humans who still work at Veritasium. They're all genuinely homies. I miss working with them, and I'm really proud to see their ongoing success. Having more science communication in the world is a good thing. And Veritasium is a very good thing. I feel very grateful to have joined the channel at 7 million subscribers and to leave at 17. Seeing it change from a tiny team of 2 or 3 to a team of more than 20 full-time employees. To go through those structural changes and the expansion of the business, all of this has been invaluable to me. So why did I leave? Well, the answers are really boring. It was time for me to do my own thing. I've spent years delaying starting my own channel, wanting to learn as much as I could about the art of science communication. I just wanted to be the best science communicator that I could be. I was going to start a channel when I was 22, when I finished up my undergrad in physics, but I ended up doing a PhD in physics education research instead to learn how to make better science communication videos with the same research supervisor as Derek. And I was going to start a channel towards the end of my PhD, but Derek reached out and asked if I wanted to write something with him, and of course I said yes, which turned into this job. I spent the last decade training up to be a science communicator and making stuff for other people. I've made stuff on my own. You might even find my terrible attempts on the internet without much searching, but never with enough gusto or direction, so none of this took off. It was never the main focus. It's the main focus now. So, I'm launching this channel. I'm really stoked about it. It's called Science Peter. Original, I know. But before we get to that, I want to share 3 things that I learned at Veritasium that made me a much better science communicator. The first is that there's a difference between a story and a topic. Your job is to tell stories that illuminate topics. Geochemistry is a topic, and it's kind of boring. But you can tell a story that focuses on the guy who tried to measure the age of the Earth by comparing the ratio of uranium to lead in ancient rocks, but kept getting the wrong numbers because of lead contamination, leading him to invent the modern-day clean room and go on a decade-long crusade to get lead additives banned. That's the story. And the amount of science that you can explain while you're telling the story is staggering, and the learning feels motivated. This was massive for me. Also, this story ties into another story that's much darker. There was lead to be found. Who put that lead there? Oh, there's lead in gasoline? What's up with that? Oh yeah, it turns out that the same guy who put lead in gasoline also invented CFCs, which have wrecked the ozone layer. 40 million people stuck around to watch that story, and they learned a bunch of science along the way. The second thing I learned is that as a science communicator, your job is to go deeper, to explain things in ways people haven't heard before, to find facts that people haven't found, to find mistakes and misconceptions, and find better ways of moving people towards the truth. I found a mistake while I was working on the first video that I wrote for the channel about how Kodak exposed nuclear testing. There was a mistake in all of the reporting, including in the testimony that was given by a senator in the 90s. It was a really small mistake. They said that the film was photo film, but it was X-ray film, and they said that it was packed with wheat husks, but it was actually packed with straw board. But it was a mistake nonetheless, and it felt so good to find it, and to fix it, and make a video that set the record straight. The video is now the definitive artifact about that topic, and it doesn't have that mistake. I'm not saying we're perfect. I'm not saying that I haven't gotten things wrong. Of course I have. Those things keep me up at night. But I really do aspire to bring people the truth, and going deeper is part of that. This attention to detail matters. A lot of the time, the detail won't be something that anyone would even notice, but I wanted it to be right. There's an animation in The Universe is Hostile to Computers where a cosmic ray flips one of the bits inside the guidance system of an A330, causing the plane to nosedive. I wanted to make sure that we showed the right bit being flipped. So I spent hours looking through the manual and doing calculations to make sure it was the right one. It took hours. The animation was on screen for maybe 4 seconds. Likely no one noticed, but I noticed. And I'm proud that I put in that work. It was the right bit that flipped in that animation. That's cool. My hero for this is Robert Caro, likely the greatest biographer that has ever lived. To write the biography of Lyndon Baines Johnson, he moved into the Texas Hill Country for 3 years, so you can get the stories that no one else could. I am no Robert Caro, but I aspire to that. The people I look up to in this field all dig deep. And the third is to go big, to trust your gut. YouTube runs on the algorithm, and the algorithm is important. Derek and Emily and I would talk a lot about which video we should make next, which stories and topics would be most appealing, what videos would do well. We definitely wanted our stories to be intellectually satisfying and relatable and surprising, ideally ones where we can have a strong title and thumbnail to make sure the video did well. And that's all fine and good, but I could never really predict which videos would do well. I just knew that the videos I really, really wanted to make, the videos I really cared about, the videos that would make me feel like I would die if I didn't make them, they did well. And even if they didn't, I was proud of the thing that I made in and of itself. There's some videos I need to make because they are important, not because they're going to be viewed by millions, though I hope they do. I'm aware this is a terrible sounding business strategy. It might be. But I'm going to keep trusting my gut about which stories I think are worth telling, and tell them in the best way that I can. Veritasium is a science channel. I am a science communicator. And I've made a lot of videos with Derek and the gang, but the videos that I'm most proud of are the ones that are maybe critical of science and technology. The ones that truly show its tremendous and terrible power. The video about Thomas Midgley Jr. who put lead in gasoline and invented Freon, which led to the hole in the ozone layer. Or about Fritz Haber, who found a way to separate nitrogen gas in the air to make ammonia, which is an amazing synthetic fertilizer. But during World War I, he used the same factories that were making fertilizer to make gunpowder and bombs for the German war effort. Unsatisfied with that, he also created chemical weapons and oversaw a chlorine gas attack on the fields of Ypres in 1915. I also love the video I made about Oppenheimer. The physics is so interesting and so beautiful and complex, and the outcome is
chooses the fake website over our website. This isn't an SEO problem, it's a Google problem. And this is, I love the way he puts that, because Steve was my manager here for 10 years, and one of the best lessons that Steve ever taught me is that one of the problems that I have, and that a lot of autistic people have, is people will take a problem and they'll put it in our lap, and we'll just kind of accept it because we like solving strange problems and playing with puzzles and shit. And the problem never belonged in our lap to begin with. Like, one example of this was when all these gyms are making it really difficult to cancel by saying you have to send us certified mail. We're going to take the cancel button off the website if you don't live in California. You have to mail us, but it has to be certified mail. Instead of saying, what the fuck you, no way in hell, there were people that were coming out with websites that try and make it easier to send certified mail. And it's like, bitch, this ain't my problem. I reserve the right to stop giving you money without having to jump through all these hoops. And I agree. The problem here is not him in SEO. It's a Google problem. Google's job is to find you the most relevant result. That is something that Google used to do once upon a time that they don't do anymore. I've been told by SEO experts that I just need to beat them at SEO, that I should take out Google ads from my own open source project, that I should keep optimizing meta tags, keep building backlinks, and keep playing this game. No, I didn't sign up for an SEO war. I want to build open source software. I want to be in my terminal in a Discord, not in Google Search Console. And this I agree with. How much time have I wasted over the past 3 months of my life that I have not spent on other things that I'm involved in? Like, how much time have I taken away from working on like the Flock security camera stuff or the Consumer Rights Week or other things because I'm trying to spend time figuring out how to get to the top of Google. And like, now I figured it out. I literally have an entire AI pipeline with 50 different agents that literally does nothing but figure out exactly what Google wants and serve it to them. And it makes me sick. And yeah, after doing that, like, number one, right here all the time. Not fixed all the way, working on it, but this is a waste of my life. I want to work on my company. I want to fix things. I don't want to figure out exactly what type of Gemini word slob Google wants to see me say so that I can show up on Google. Here's where it gets serious. I built NanoClaw security first. Every agent runs in an isolated container. We obsess over making sure agent runtimes are safe and sandboxed. Security is the foundation of everything we do. And right now, our biggest security vulnerability is Google search. The person running nanoclaw.net can put anything they want on that page tomorrow. A crypto scam, a phishing page, malicious download links. They could fork the GitHub repo, inject malicious code, and link to it from the site that Google is telling thousands of people is legitimate, whatever they want. And Google will happily serve it to everyone searching for my project. This is a live, active security risk that Google is enabling right now. Even if I win this SEO game in 2 or 3 weeks and finally dislodge them, by then, hundreds of thousands of people will have already visited that site, already seen wrong information, formed wrong impressions, associated my project with a spammy, broken experience. And there's no way to undo that. And every single day it stays up, the damage grows. Here's a great question he asked. If Google can't figure out which website belongs to an open source project when the project itself is screaming the answer, how can we trust them with any query? We trust Google to surface reliable information about elections, vaccines, medical conditions, financial decisions, and they can't get this right? A question where the answer is unambiguous, where every signal agrees, where the authoritative source explicitly declares the truth. I don't want to be playing this game. I want to be writing code, building community, pushing features, and fixing bugs. We need to stop blaming ourselves. Yes. Stop obsessing over whether we got the meta tags perfect, whether the favicon is the exact right format. When Google has abundant, unambiguous signals pointing to the right answer and still gets it wrong, that's not our problem. That's a Google problem. If Google wants to continue earning its position as the gateway to the internet's information, they need to be able to get things like this right. Welcome to e-commerce, friend. Just accept it and prove your SEO, just like all of us have had to do for the last 2 decades. And this is one of those trolley problems where it's, I got ran over by the trolley, therefore everybody has to get run over by the trolley to make it fair. And no, this is not how this should work. Do I have to have a website that is relevant? Absolutely.